This is a chapter in the Jesus Storybook Bible from the New Testament in Mark 6, Matthew 14, and Luke 9, called Filled Full, which is the story of the feeding of the 5,000. And I'm reading this with Elise and
Hi.
Greta.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
There were once 5,000 tired and hungry and probably very grumpy people. Do you ever get grumpy when you're hungry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. They were sitting on a hillside wanting dinner. They'd come to hear Jesus that day. They came before breakfast, stayed all morning, all afternoon, and way past dinner. Nobody had meant to be out there that long, but that's how it was. They were listening to Jesus. It was like time didn't exist. People could listen to Jesus for hours. And on this particular day, that's exactly what they did. But they hadn't brought enough food. They didn't bring their snacks with them. They couldn't just go buy themselves a burger and fries because, of course, they were in the middle of nowhere. And there were no fast food restaurants. Besides, that kind of food wasn't invented yet anyway. What are they going to do? Jesus' friends, the disciples, had no idea. Let's send everybody home for dinner, they said. I don't think they need to go, Jesus said. I think you can give them something to eat. Did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everyone? They don't need to go, Jesus said. You can give them something to eat. They were wondering, did Jesus want them to travel all the way to town and buy food for everybody? They kind of panicked. We don't have enough money to do that, Jesus. What food do you have? Jesus asked. Go and see. Now there was a little boy in the crowd. He brought a lunch that his mother had packed for him in the morning. He looked at his 5 loaves and 2 fish. See him there? It wasn't much, not enough to feed 5,000 people, but it was all that he had. Well, the little boy said, I have some. Jesus' friends laughed when they saw this little lunch. That's not nearly enough. But they were wrong. Jesus knew it didn't matter how much the little boy had. God would make it enough. God would make it more than enough. Jesus said, hey, bring me what you have. So the little boy gave Jesus his lunch. Jesus winked at the little boy like this. Yeah. And he whispered in his ear, watch. How in the world will Jesus feed everybody with just that? His friends asked. They thought it was impossible. But Jesus knew that the one who made all the fish in the oceans would make it possible. Jesus knew that the one who in the very beginning had made everything out of nothing would make it possible. How hard would something like this be for someone like that? So Jesus took the little boy's lunch. He looked up to heaven. He thanked his Father. He gave Jesus the little lunch and gave it back to his friends, the disciples. Jesus' friends started to hand out the food. Do you know what? It was the strangest thing. No matter how much they broke off, there was always more and more and more and more. Enough for 5,000 people. Everybody ate as much as they wanted. They had second helpings. They had third helpings. They had third and a half helpings. Even fourths. Until they were absolutely stuffed full. And still there were leftovers. Well, Jesus did a lot of miracles like this. Things people thought couldn't happen, that weren't natural. And this one was because a little boy who might have been around your age decided he would help. But when Jesus did these things, it was the most natural thing in the world. It's what God has been doing from the beginning. Taking nothing and making it everything. Taking emptiness and filling it up. Taking darkness and making it light.